Stiles with the Scoring Solution. What if I told you that chipping could and should be fun? What if I told you it should be one of the easiest parts of the game, not something you should be afraid of or you're nervous about or you get anxious every time you have to chip? What if I told you that you could walk up to a chip, look at the flag, look at the green, and instead of thinking about how to not screw it up, what if you thought about how to make it? What I'm going to show you here is a simple way to make chipping fun, easy, and to get yourself onto the green every single time. There's a whole bunch of information out there when it comes to chipping and pitching the ball, and what I like to make sure all my students know is what needs to happen with the club and the ground and the ball in order to give yourself a decent result. If we can organize our body around that, there's a pretty good chance you can hit some decent shots. And at the minimum, what we're looking for in terms of having a functional short game is not screwing up the easy ones. So if we can get really good at the simple shots, if you can find one move that is simple, repeatable, that you can do over and over again, a move where you can hit the ground in the same spot, you can find yourself being very, very successful, hitting shots closer and closer to the hole, and having way more fun. Chipping is a spot where we get to get the ball as close to the hole as we can, maybe even in the hole, so let's make it fun. What I see when I'm teaching students is, in general, a lot of setup issues where they're getting themselves into a setup or posture before they hit that doesn't give them a chance for success. So what I like to see with the basic chipping posture is we're going to go with our stance nice and close together. Okay, we're talking maybe 2, 3, 4 inches apart. From there, I want to see a little bit of lean towards the target. Not a ton, just a little bit. And when we lean, we're going to lean with our shoulder, not our hips. I see way too many people that want to push their pressure towards the target. They kick their lead hip forward and their upper body goes back. This causes big time issues, okay? You're going to feel like we lean with our shoulder and then fold to the ball. From there, we're going to set our hands just slightly forward, okay? Somewhere, if here's my shaft is vertical, I'm going to go maybe 10 or 15 degrees forward. A good reference point would be your hands, even with your lead thigh. That's it. We don't have to do anything else. From there, when we're set up, we're going to make sure we're nice and comfortable, okay? We can't be stiff or locked up. We want to feel like our arms are relaxed, our hands or wrists are relaxed. Now, when we relax them, it's important to understand that they can't be too relaxed. This is where it can get confusing. I see a lot of people that hold the club way too light when they're trying to chip or pitch the ball, and they lose total control of this club head. Again, right here, we're looking for a way to make this really, really simple and give you a move that can get the ball onto the green every single time. So we're going to set up, again, ball position as well, right in the middle, okay? Ball position is very neutral or even a little bit back. I've got a shot here. I've only got maybe 10 feet of fringe to hit it through. Now, if you really struggle with this, the best shot you can hit is the one you're the most comfortable with. But when you're putting it through long area, and the one you're most comfortable with might be a putt, but when you putt it through long areas of fairway, you leave a lot up to chance because the turf generally isn't perfect. If you're playing in a place where it is absolutely perfect and it's just a little bit longer than the greens, that's fine. Go ahead and putt it. That works, okay? Your worst putt is generally going to be better than your worst chip. But let's say you can't chip it or you don't want to chip it because you want some more control. I've got about 10, maybe 12 feet of fringe and then maybe 30, 40 feet of green, okay? A basic chip shot. So what I'm gonna do here is I've got a pitching wedge, okay? And you can test out which club works the best. There isn't one way to do it. Some people like to chip with their 60, some people like to chip with an 8 iron. What you do need to find is a club that's gonna allow the ball to get high enough in the air, land soft enough, so it can roll the appropriate distance. In theory, I don't mind it when you change clubs depending on the shot you're gonna use. That's what I do for most of my chip shots. If I need to fly it higher and where it doesn't have to need to fly it higher and shorter, so the ball's gonna stop quicker, I'll go with more loft. If I've got lots of green to work out with, I'm gonna go with less loft. So we're set up here, nice and neutral, okay? Ball's in the just back of middle of my stance. I've got a little bit of lean to the target. My hands are pressed slightly forward, and my grip, while it's light, it's controlled. There's no room for the club to move in my hands, okay? I wanna make sure I'm holding on. From here, all I'm feeling like I'm gonna do is take the club back and turn through with my whole body, okay? There's very little wrist movement. There's very little hand movement, okay? I don't need to feel like the club opens and closes. It's similar-ish to a putting stroke, but I'm just trying to keep this club face very stable and brush the ground in front of the ball, okay? I have to hit down on it slightly. I need to hit the ball in the downswing. The low point has to be in front of the ball, and I'm gonna keep the club face quite neutral. I'm not trying to do anything crazy with it. I don't really want this ball to spin. I want it to land on the green and tumble. This is what it would look like. Set up, nice and neutral, ball's a little back, hands are a little bit forward. My weight's just slightly into my left side. Take it back, and turn through. A big reason people struggle with this is they don't rotate, okay? If there's anything that has to happen, we need to rotate and we need to allow our body to move through the shot. I see way too many people, they struggle with this shot because they get in here, they take it back and they're okay, and then they stop and their head gets stuck, their chest gets stuck, their whole upper body unit doesn't move at all. That's kind of a death penalty when it comes to these shots, because then your hands and wrists have to operate on their own, and it's so easy to manipulate and to get a ton of variance on this shot when this torso isn't moving. Again, set up. I'm gonna make a couple practice swings. Feel the club brush the ground. Again, you notice when I make a backswing and a follow through, if I don't change my hands, wrists, arms, and come back to the start, they're basically in the exact same spot. I've said before, but I'm a massive proponent of making the short game as easy as possible. The easiest and more repeatable the shots can be, then our tension levels go down. We make it easier to execute, we make it easier to commit to shots. And as soon as it's easier to commit, because we know the task at hand isn't as difficult, I promise you your short game is going to get better and better. There's tons of ways to then take your short game to the next level. But right here, it's more about how to not screw it up than it is to hit the perfect shot. Again, I'm set up, nice and balanced, weight's a little forward, hands are a little bit forward, turn, and turn. That's it. Contact was nice. I struck it well. The ball rolled out. I hit a little bit hard, but I like the way I hit that one. Again, I'm gonna set up. Stance is pretty neutral. We don't have to get too open. I see a lot of people get way too open on these type of shots. I like to open up a little bit, but I would say a little bit open or even square is gonna give you the best chance of success. Set up, little lean, turn. So there's a good example. I hit it a little bit thin. It still rolled out to about 6 feet. One more, set up. I'm gonna hit this one intentionally a little bit heavy. So I hit that one behind the ball and that almost lipped out. It went to about 5 feet. So there's two shots that I hit, one heavy and I hit one thin, and each ball is within, I'd say, 8 feet of the hole from a probably 40 to 45 foot chip, which would be really good. I'd take that any day of the week. Now, if you don't like the pitching wedge, you can go ahead. Another option, I've got a sand wedge. And so what I recommend is test this shot with a bunch of different clubs and see what happens. You might notice that one feels better than the other. You might notice one works or one doesn't, okay? So if I've got a sand wedge for this shot, I'm gonna do everything else the same. Now to hit this shot to the hole, I'm gonna need to make a little bit bigger of a swing, but that's it. I'm not trying to change anything else. Again, if we can get good at this one simple pattern, so many shots can play off of it. But right now it's about developing this. So set up, nice and relaxed, okay? Pressure's a little bit forward, not too much. Okay, balls, you know, maybe just a touch back in my stance. Hands a little bit forward, nice and quiet. Turn and turn. So what I notice, and what you should notice, I hit a sand wedge, the ball comes out higher, flies further, doesn't roll as far. So again, if you have more fairway to cover and less green, higher loft is probably gonna make it a little bit easier. Set up in here again, weight forward, nice and balanced, okay. Hands slightly forward, hands, wrist quiet and stable, turn back, turn through. So what you'll notice is when I finish, I'm tall, I'm rotated towards the target, and I'm balanced. It's a really good way to check how the swing went is if you hold your finish. If you finish and you notice you're back, you've got a lot of weight on your trail foot, that's a sign you probably didn't get further forward enough. If you notice you finish and the club is stopped, or you finish and your head is down, those are information pieces that can help tell you what happened during that swing. So I'll hit one more here for you. That's my sand wedge. Again, nice and neutral. Ball's just back in middle. My stance is pretty square. Hands are slightly forward, weight slightly forward. Quiet hands, wrists. Turn, turn. Again, good example because I chunked it. Still got inside 10 feet, okay? Now on this shot, I like to use I like to use the club that has the least amount of loft that'll get the ball onto the green, because then my swing stays short. Experiment with it, test it out, see which clubs feel good, see which clubs don't. But if this movement pattern you can get really good at, where there's lots of rotation, you don't need your hips to really rotate in the backswing, but on the way through, if your chest rotates really well through the ball, while your hands and wrists are quiet, you practice brushing or thumping the ground, I promise you your short game should get easier. The shots around the green should become more consistent, more repeatable, and again, you'll see less of the bad shots. That's what we're trying to get rid of. We're trying to get rid of the shots that kill us, the ones that go maybe 10 feet in front of you, or the ones that we blade over the green. If we can manage our body, set ourselves up in the right spot, and then move in a functional way where we have less manipulation of this club, you're gonna have more success. Try this out, let me know what you think. There's so many variations off this simple move. If we can get this one nice and solid, I promise you your short games are gonna get better. We're looking for something that eliminates the bad. If we bring up our baseline, if our bad shots get better and better, your scores are going to start to plummet. If you enjoyed this, if you like this type of content, please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel. All the feedback, all the engagement really helps. I answer all the comments if you've got a question about it. If there's a certain shot you're looking to improve on, reach out to me. I'm going to do everything I can to help out. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day and good luck with your chips.